Michael, so a week on from last weekend's game now. On reflection, how do you look back at it? How far is the side off sort of the level of performance you want it to be at?
I don't think my sort of thoughts, feelings have changed from after the game. I think from an emotion point of view, I was pretty calm and with it in terms of the game sort of panned out how I think I saw it on the day. To be fair, I think it was a difficult game against a side who are really, really good at what they do. Like really good at what they do. They get the ball forward early. They get bodies round the ball for the second ball. They put lots of crosses into your box. They try and bombard you with the physical part of the game. And it's something that stood well for them last year. They finished 11, 4 points off the playoffs. And I actually heard Woody do an interview on TalkSport on the Sunday saying their aspirations are to finish in the playoffs. So as opening day performances go, could we have been better? 100%, yeah, we could have been miles better. We know that, but we stood strong. We didn't cave in. We didn't look like losing the game. Clearly didn't look like winning the game. Certainly didn't look like losing the game. So reasonably satisfied. In terms of where we're at and where we want to be, we're a long, long way up from that. But ask me after 10 games, I'll probably be able to give you a better answer. But after one game, point on the board, yeah, reasonably happy.
Positive week this week?
Yeah, it's been good. Yeah, it's been good. I think obviously once the competitive games start, obviously there's an uplift in the intensity without any shadow of a doubt. So no, it's been a good week. It's always nice to have a flat week because we don't get many. Not really sure when the next one's going to be, but I know it's a while away. So from that point of view, we try to use it as best we possibly could.
First away day tomorrow, trip to Tranmere. How are you feeling about that, and what sort of challenge will they pose to you?
Yeah, obviously it's going to be good. Obviously it's on the box, early start, which you've got to put up with these days as managers, as coaches, as players. You know, whether you're performing in the Premier League or at our level, the games come at random times these days, and that's something that's part and parcel of being a modern day professional now. But yeah, Tranmere are going to be very difficult. It's their first home game. I know Crosser well. I know how he goes about it. They'll be aggressive. They'll be in our face. They'll want to please, obviously, their supporters. They had a difficult season last year, but finished the season very well. So they'll be looking to obviously capitalise on that and have a bit of momentum going forward.
And how important is it for you to start building momentum in these early stages of the season?
Yeah, it's crucial. I think it's crucial for everybody. Yeah, I mean, the better the start you get, certainly the more likely opportunity you get to build on that. Obviously, if you start really, really slow, there's all sorts of things that sort of come into play in terms of a little bit of anxiety, anxiousness around the place. So, yeah, we want to get off to as good a start as we can in the first half a dozen games or so, which gives us hopefully a bit of a platform for the rest of the season.
I know you spoke a bit about Tom Sang after the end of last week's game. How much closer potentially is he to a start?
Well, he's certainly trained all this week with no issues. He got a little bit of an issue that he had before Saturday, which kept him out of 3 or 4 pre-season games. So for him to get through, was it 15 minutes or so, 10-15 minutes or so last week, and then train fully this week, he's certainly in a better position going into tomorrow's game than he was last week.
And we just spoke to Anthony Scully while he's been through a lot. I think it's fair to say past few years didn't get many starts at Colchester last year, managed to get 74 minutes under his belt last weekend. How pleasing was that for you as well? Yeah,
I was delighted for him, for me, for all the sort of staff as well. Scully's obviously someone I know very well. I obviously took him on his first loan and then ended up signing him after that first loan spell at Lincoln. So I know him very well, know what he's about, know what he can bring to the team. The good thing for me is, you know, I thought he looked really sharp and a threat on Saturday, but I know he's probably only about 80% as well. So that's the pleasing thing. There's still probably about 20% for him to come. So he'll be looking to just continue to build momentum and keep his fitness as strong as he possibly can.
And what can he offer the team when he is 100%?
Loads. I mean, he gives you options in terms of positionally. You know, obviously we've got the free as it stands at the minute with the defenders, and it certainly helped us last weekend. We can change to a 3-4-3 if we want, and he can be one of the wider ones of the top line. He can play as a 10, as he did a lot on Saturday, but he can also play as a 9, because that's how he started his career at West Ham, or certainly where I first noticed him playing as an out-and-out number 9.
How important is it for you to have those players that can be versatile and just adapt like that in any given situation?
Yeah, it's key, especially with a smaller squad. Yeah, we need players who can play various positions, who can cope and handle all the physicality of different positions. So yeah, he's important, but there's probably 3 or 4 other players in the group who can play 2 or 3 positions. So at some point, players are going to have to play out of position or in different positions, and we wouldn't want to do it too often, but that's part and parcel of the recruitment process. If you have got a smaller squad, then obviously utilising it as best you possibly can.
Obviously a difficult period for Max Matcher at the moment. We know he's going to be out for a few more months, but how is he getting on mentally as well? Is he still around the group as well? Yeah, he's still around the group at the minute. There's not been much he can do, to be fair, because obviously the extent of the initial injury, he's still in the very early stages of his rehab. There'll be a point, I'm sure, in the next week, maybe 2, where his rehab will have to step up a little bit. But with those type of injuries and the extent of it, you have to get rid of the fluid and the bleeding and all that type of stuff first before you can start treating the injury. So early doors still for him, although nothing's particularly massively changed in terms of the outline of like when he's going to get back. Do you have any fresh concerns heading into the weekend?
No, I mean, there's 1 or 2 sort of knocks from like the last couple of days, but I'm not expecting anything too drastic today, unless obviously something happens this morning in training, God forbid, as he touches a plastic. Better touching that rather than that.
Just finally, since last Saturday, any movement expected?
Well, not before the game tomorrow, if that's what you mean. But no, I mean, yeah, hopefully, potentially a little bit of movement next week. Yeah, I've got my fingers crossed that there might be a little bit of movement next week.
And another full away end tomorrow.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant, fantastic. I mean, obviously, the start of a new season, with the home game first, you're always a little bit nervous. Is there going to be a hangover from last year and stuff? So to hear that, obviously early, I was really happy, and it's brilliant for the players because again, it's an early kick-off, like I say, we know, but for us to bring the support that we're going to have tomorrow could be crucial in the game.
Best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you.